just wanted to say I'm back again for another vlog post. And I did finally score myself a job about 3 weeks ago, hence the reason why, again, I haven't been doing anything lately. But I did get one finally, but for the 4 or 5 of you that might actually watch this video, this isn't really a thing to celebrate, so you don't need to go congratulating me just yet. But I sadly had to take a job outside of my field, since nobody was hiring for me or nobody was responding to any of my applications. So I had to just take something that's totally out of my field, and this is as far away from my field as I could probably get. I feel like such a fish out of water. I'm test driving cars. I can't really say for who and what exactly I'm doing, as there's some proprietary stuff and all that other nonsense that they just don't want people to be publicizing. So, but it's test driving, and it's so it's. But the drawback is I'm not a mechanical person, I am an artistic person. So this is totally, like I say, fish out of water. And it's not something that I intend to stick with for very long. And I know when I told my mother, that I did finally get it and what I did, she's like, oh, it'll grow on you. I'm like, no, Mom, it won't. This is not something that would grow on me, definitely. I mean, I know I've been, it's, problem is with this, it's like you're driving long hours, which is something that, the longest I've ever drove, I mean, I did drive, I think, for almost 10 hours, but that was like many years ago, on a trip to Pennsylvania. But yeah, I used to actually go on trips long ago, back when I actually had money. But with that, it's like at least you can get out and check out some tourist attraction or whatnot, or have sit down to a nice meal. You could take your time about it. You don't have to, and it's not like going around in circles for 5, 6, 7 times. I'm driving for the routes they've got me on right now is probably about 450, almost 500 miles per day. So you can imagine how long it takes. That's actually usually about an 8 or 9 hour job in clear traffic. But yes, it's a lot of sitting, which of course, if anyone who knows me knows, that is not something I like doing. I don't mind sitting and chilling sometimes. I do like sitting around and with my friends watching movies or shooting a breeze. But other than that, it's like I don't like sitting too long. I like the option of being able to get up, stretch my legs, which is another thing. It's not very good for the health because you are sitting a long time and you are getting cramped. You're allowed for maybe about a half hour lunchtime mandatory, but other than that, you're dealing with sitting. You're also dealing with the stress of traffic, depending on where you're going, and it's just not something for me. Also, I have a problem with, my brain just wants to shut down, which I don't like, but it's like when I'm on a long journey, just, long straight, and it's around, there's, nothing interesting going on, and I can't just, get up and do anything. My brain just wants to shut down. It's like I'm constantly doing this every so often. I mean, granted, usually around the last lap, I'm not that bad, but it's like usually around the second lap, I'm doing one of these, trying to stay awake. Even though I've had plenty of sleep, I'm actually getting more sleep now than I did beforehand, before I got the new job, because my brain was always busy. But now it's like I'm so exhausted. Which this is, the main reason why I haven't really been able to do much creating lately now is because I've been pulling 6 days, usually about 9-10 hours, and it wipes you out. You would not think that sitting wipes you out, but it does. It's like when you leave a battery, a camera battery, just sitting around for a long time, then when you finally do start to use it, it just doesn't want to work all that right. It gets exhausted. So this is the same way. The body does the same thing. If you're constantly not moving, not doing anything, you do get wiped. It's like a battery draining when it's not even being used. But and it does that a lot with me. So that's another reason why I wouldn't be able to do this for very long. I don't have that stamina with my mind to, stick to that, and it's very mundane. But on the plus side, it's income. So that's the main part. It's income. It's like, this is the reason why I'm doing this. But I'm still looking for opportunities closer to the field of my training, my video production training, television, or even get into film and acting. But unfortunately, I can't get into those if I'm pulling this job, which is just taking everything out of me. When I get home from work at 1 a.m. or 1 or 2 a.m. sometimes, I may only stay awake for about a half hour. Then I'm out like a light. It's like, doesn't matter if I'm, what I'm doing, I fall asleep. And then I don't wake up until about 10 a.m. the next morning, which that, again, doesn't leave you much time because you have to get yourself ready. And I take a while to get ready for anything. I am slow at getting ready. It takes me quite a while to shower and fix my hair and everything. So, it takes me, and then I have to eat, of course, because you don't really get much time to eat on the job. And so I have to eat beforehand. So I eat reheated dinner from last night. Have someone making food and, makes dinner, and I eat it the next day. So that's what that is right there. So I really don't have a lot of time to do anything. On the rare occasions that I do have a day off, I have to run errands, the normal errands, go grocery shop and replenish supplies of whatever, and maybe try to clean house or whatnot, and sometimes enjoy spending some time with friends, and which is rare, in itself. So I try to, do quality time and whatnot. So, there are some pros to it. I say, other than the income, it's not great. It's not something to live off of, which was one thing that my boss had told me when I first got the job. She's like, well, this isn't something you live off of. This is more of a supplement thing. I was like, yeah, okay, would have been nice to know that in the job description when I filled out the application. But, what it's to be expected of me. It was entry level, but then, the other con to it is, like I say, it's not healthy for you. I see, my first couple days working there, I'm seeing people walking around like they're in constant pain, like they've got bad legs, bad back, and that doesn't bode well for me. It really scares me doing that. So that's another reason why I don't want to stick around very long. But the pros is, though, it's like you do drive, which I'm not too keen on driving in the same loop for 10 hours a day, but I'll deal with it. But another good thing is, on sunny days when it's nice, you get treated to some nice sunsets, which I like. I always like a good sunset. And one of the run route that they have me on right now, I run on the I-94 expressway, and so of course I've got the airport right there, and so you're driving, and sometimes when it's time just right, there's planes coming right over you, coming in for a landing or even coming up, but it looks really cool. And I wish I could take pictures of it or some video of that and some other stuff, but unfortunately no cameras are allowed in this job. Like I say, it's very, confidential and with what they've, got in their vehicles and whatnot, so I can't really do that, and it's against the rules. So I can't have any recording equipment, so or any cameras of any sort. Which, I mean, I kind of wish they did allow that, because then I'd be able to put my camera and I can vlog while I'm driving and break the monotony up a little bit. But again, it's not allowed. That, and this camera's a little bit bulky for it. I can't really, it's not like an iPhone or anything where I can just flip it out and mount it anywhere. Although if I had a GoPro, that would be good. If I had a GoPro, but again, need money. I need money for camera equipment, need money for production equipment and everything else like that. Would like to take acting classes and everything too, even though I know I've been told, oh, you don't need classes and whatnot, and but then there's other people that say, yeah, you probably should, type thing. But I'm in the school of thought that it couldn't hurt. I would like to do that, but until I get to do that sort of thing, I've got to do this first. I got to make the money, and which I swear it seems like every single time stuff starts looking up for me, like like in the past, when I first got my job at the TV station, it's like everything working out for me great, and then when I'm just getting ready to get out the gate, start running, all of a sudden someone closes the gate on me, and that's the story of my life right now. It's like every single time I try to get doing something, someone or something always comes and blocks my path, stops me, holds, it's like, and like last time it was like things were going good for me at the TV station before my first layoff, and then of course I couldn't find a job then after that, and money got depleted. I had managed to save up some money, but then that got depleted because I had to live off of something, and so of course get another job. As starts looking up, I start building the capital back up again, but then of course something stops me there again. So I'm always getting stopped. So, but yes, I'm still looking for actual job closer to my field, closer to what I can do, that I know I can do. Unfortunately, with video production, I don't have much in the way of proof of what I can do. That's one of the main drawbacks, I think, why I can't find a job right now. Plus, I'm in Michigan. I'm kind of stuck in Michigan. So, and that's a problem there too. I'm kind of stuck in Michigan, and most of the jobs are outside of Michigan, but you need money to be able to move, and when you move to a place, you want to make sure you do have a job lined up. You never want to go moving somewhere and not have a job lined up, and then you're kind of stuck. For some people they could do that because they've got money or something along the line. I'm pretty much dirt poor. I come from working class stock, so it's like I don't have that type of money back up for me to to do stuff like that. So I'm kind of stuck right now, but I want to get unstuck. So if anyone has a job, say, hey, I got a job guaranteed for you. But yeah, right now I'm kind of stuck here. But I think a lot of it too is like I don't have proof of work, of my stuff, because most of the stuff that even if I did have stuff, most of it's many years ago that nobody's really going to worry about or look at, because most times people want to know what you've done lately. And unfortunately, haven't had the opportunities that I did have early on. And because when I was brought back to the TV station, it was basically, they stuck me in playback, and so I didn't get a lot of chance to do productions, just the odd production here and there. And then, they didn't do much anymore anyway. We used to do a whole bunch of shows and stuff out of the studios there, but later on, we relied mostly on third parties to give us content, and so we weren't really doing much. We did one show that was like basically just talking heads, and boring. But I mean, it was informational, but it's not something that is rocket science, and it's not like sports or anything. I love doing sports, and it was fun, and I love doing concerts and music and stuff, but we never had a chance to do that. So a lot of what I have is like old that no, even if I did have any of that stuff, nobody's really gonna care. But right now I don't even have any of that stuff. I did find a few things, as you probably saw from a previous video. I did have something, but that was like from when I just got out of my internship and they hired me on, and stuff like that. That was fun. But that again, it was so long ago. I mean, that was analog days. But so that's what's really sticking to me right now, I think, too. That, and the fact that nobody's wanting to hire full on. They just want freelancers or people with their own equipment, which again, I don't have. But I'm still looking, and I will be creating some stuff probably my next days off. I know my job's supposed to have some slow days coming up, and which is another unfortunate problem with my job. It's like, it's not continuous. I mean, right now they have busy days, and I'm pulling 6 days a week. There have been times where they want me to go 7. I'm like, no. I need at least a day to recover. But they're like, right now it's getting slow, so I may have more days off, unfortunately, because it's unfortunate because I'm not going to have that income, but I might have some more time to create some stuff. I've had some ideas. I always get ideas when I'm driving, but unfortunately by the time I get home I can't really vlog, do an entry on them, because it's like I'm just too tired. That, and I have someone sleeping in the next room, and I don't want to wake them up because they've got to go to work in the morning. So that's always one of the roadblocks of being a night worker and you working with a day person. But gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I just wish that things would work out for me better, but it seems like and I hate to think it. Sometimes I think my mom might be right that says dreams don't mean shit, but then I gotta remember it's like, it's that's what keeps me going, is me chasing my dreams. It's like my mom, my sister, everyone around me never really had dreams. I've asked them, they said no. It's like, then what's the point? There's no point in life if you don't have dreams. So I gotta, so I think about that sometimes, and it's like, then I'm like, nope, gotta keep going. And, gotta keep chasing, because then there's like no point to it if you don't have them. And, so I'm gonna keep trying, and hopefully I'll get some more stuff out soon. I should have some days coming eventually. I got a few ideas. I've got some things to show off, maybe for my collections. Maybe that might be cool. And then some other, and yeah, that's another thing. I've got canvases that are crying for paint. I've got some discs that are want to do etchings. I did finish this a couple months ago, but I don't think I've ever shown it. My little Batman. I made it into an ornament, of course, so you can hang it from something. But yeah, it's a little Batman ornament that I made out of a CD. And I don't know if you can see it here, but there's like it's a little cityscape etched in there in the bat symbol. And of course, on the other side is just the flip side of it. And then I've got the inside didn't come out as good as I wanted it to. The glue kind of obscured it. I used clear glue, but it just kind of, it didn't come out right, but it's still not bad. I mean, it's not too awfully bad as, sometimes I think with Bob Ross it said, there's no such things as bad accidents, all happy accidents or whatever. I know I just blew that quote, but yeah, I used to watch Bob Ross a lot when I was a kid. I just love watching people do their art. Whatever type of art they are doing, I like watching. I've always been mesmerized by it, and say, I want to do something like that. So anyway, I am going to close this now because I've got to eat my dinner or lunch and then get ready to get out on the road. And hopefully I will be back soon.